For the ancient Vikings, the world was not eternal. The gods were not immortal. Above the golden halls of Asgard, over the fields of Midgard, a shadow loomed, a prophecy, a promise of an inevitable end, a time when bonds would break, wolves would be unleashed, and the gods themselves would face their doom. This was not a story of if, it was a story of when. The Norse people did not ask if the end would come, but how it would unfold. They had a name for it, a name that echoed in the halls of chieftains and in whispers around the campfire. Ragnarök, the twilight of the gods. But Ragnarök was not a sudden event. It was the culmination of mistakes, betrayals, and prophecies set in motion by the gods themselves. Today, on Lendify, we won't just tell the story of the final battle. We will follow the trail of destruction from the very first seed of chaos to the rebirth of a new world from the ashes of the old. This is the full story of the final battle the Vikings foretold. Every great storm begins with a single drop of rain. Ragnarök began with 3 fatal mistakes, 3 events that sealed the fate of the 9 realms, and they all revolve around the most unpredictable god of all, Loki, the first seed, the monstrous children. Loki, the god of mischief, had children with a giantess named Angerboda, but these were not gods, they were omens. The first, the wolf Fenrir, destined to grow so strong that no chain could hold him. The second, the serpent Jörmungandr, so immense that Odin cast him into the Sea of Midgard, where he grew until he bit his own tail, circling the world. The third, Hel, whose body was half beautiful woman and half decaying corpse. Odin, fearing them, banished her to the deepest underworld, making her queen of the dishonored dead. The gods thought they had contained the threat, but they had only given their enemies their future battlefields. The second seed, the death of the light. The second mistake was the most tragic. Baldur, the god of light, the most beloved of all Odin's sons, began to have dreams of his own death. His mother, Frigga, in her desperation, made every single thing in creation swear an oath to never harm her son. Stones, plants, animals, they all swore, all but one, a small plant, the mistletoe, which Frigga deemed too harmless to matter. Loki, consumed by jealousy, discovered this weakness. He tricked Baldur's blind brother, Hodur, into throwing a dart of mistletoe at the god of light, killing him instantly. For the first time, darkness and grief entered Asgard. Baldur was sent to the realm of Hel, and the first domino of Ragnarök had fallen. The third seed, the vengeful prisoner. As punishment for his crimes, the gods captured Loki. They bound him deep within a cave, with chains made from the entrails of his own son. Above his head, they tied a serpent, whose venom dripped ceaselessly onto his face. There, Loki swore revenge, a vengeance he would have in the final battle. The prophecy foretold that the first sign of the end would not be a battle but a silence, a cold, the Fimbulwinter, the mighty winter. It was no ordinary winter. It was 3 winters in a row, with no summer in between. Snow fell from all directions. The winds were cruel. The sun barely had the strength to shine. The crops failed. Famine spread like a plague. The bonds that held society together broke. Brother turned against brother. Families tore each other apart for the last scrap of bread. Honor, loyalty, everything was lost in the biting cold. The world of men plunged into chaos, and in the sky, the wolves Skull and Hati, who for ages had chased the sun and moon, finally caught their prey. They devoured the celestial bodies and plunged the 9 realms into total darkness. The end was near. On the border of Asgard, the guardian Heimdall, whose ears could hear wool growing on sheep, hears the sound he has always dreaded, the sound of Loki's chains breaking, the sound of the wolf Fenrir finally running free. He raises his horn, Gjallarhorn, and sounds the note that tears the veil between worlds. The call to war, and the armies begin to march. From the east, Loki, now free, captains the ship Naglfar, a hideous ship built entirely from the fingernails of the dead. With him come the hordes of frost giants, thirsting for the ruin of the gods. From the south comes Surtur, the fire giant, guardian of the realm of Muspelheim. He wields a sword brighter than the sun. and with him march the sons of Muspel, an army of fire that burns the very earth where it walks. From the depths, the great serpent Jörmungandr stirs in a rage, causing tidal waves and poisoning the skies with its breath. And from the realm of the dead, Hel sends her dishonored subjects, led by the hellhound Garma. From Asgard, Odin leads the Einherjar, the spirits of the greatest warriors who died in battle, now resurrected for the final fight. With him ride Thor, with his hammer Mjolnir, Tyr, the one-handed god, and all the gods loyal to the All-Father. They all march to the plain of Vigridr, the battlefield where destiny will be decided. The battle begins, and amid the chaos of 1,000 warriors, the duels of destiny unfold. Odin versus Fenrir, the All-Father on his 8-legged horse, Sleipnir, charges directly at his greatest fear, the wolf Fenrir, now free and colossal, his lower jaw scraping the ground and his upper jaw touching the sky. Odin fights bravely, but the prophecy is relentless. The wolf devours him whole. The king of Asgard has fallen. Thor versus Jörmungandr. Thor, the god of thunder, meets his arch-nemesis, the world serpent. The fight is cataclysmic. Thunder and venom collide. With a final blow of his hammer, Thor crushes the serpent's head. He is victorious, but as he takes 9 steps back to celebrate his win, he succumbs to the creature's venom and falls dead to the ground. The champion of mankind has perished. Freya versus Surtur. Freya, the god of fertility, fights the fire giant Surtur, but Freya had long ago given away his magic sword, and he fights with only an antler. He is quickly slain by Surtur and his blade of flame. Heimdall versus Loki. The guardian and the traitor face each other. In a bitter, evenly matched fight, they kill one another. Order and chaos annihilate each other. Tyr versus Garmr. Tyr, the god who sacrificed his hand to bind Fenrir, fights the hellhound Garmr. They too kill each other in one final act of sacrifice. With the death of the gods and their enemies, Surtur fulfills his final purpose. He casts his fiery sword over the world, and the flames consume everything. The heavens, the earth, all of it burns. Then the ocean rises and swallows the ashes. Silence, darkness, the end. But the prophecy did not only speak of an end, it also spoke of a new beginning. A new world emerges, and the survivors appear. The sons of Odin, Vidar and Vali, and the sons of Thor, Modi and Magni, who inherit the hammer Mjolnir. And most surprising of all, from the realm of Hel, Baldur, the god of light, and his brother Hodur return, now reconciled. The new gods meet on the field of Idavol, where Asgard used to be. There, in the green grass, they find a treasure, the golden chess pieces with which the old gods used to play, a symbol of the world that was. And humanity? 2 survived, hidden in the world tree, Yggdrasil, Leif and Leifthrazir. They will become the parents of a new human race, to repopulate this new world in peace. Ragnarök is more than a story of destruction. It is a story about the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. For the Vikings, it showed that nothing is permanent, not even the gods. Honor was not found in winning, but in how you faced your inevitable fate. To fight bravely until the end, even knowing defeat was certain. It is a somber reminder that all things have an end, but also a hopeful promise that from the ashes of the old, the new can always be born. What did you think of the journey to Ragnarök? Which duel was the most epic in your opinion? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed diving into the end of the Viking world, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to Lendify, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next legend.